I stood there, frozen, the air in her studio thick with the smell of turpentine and deceit. My eyes locked onto the canvasa half-finished oil painting, the strokes still wet, glistening under the dim light of the skylight. It was her, my wife, Claire, sprawled across a velvet chaise lounge, her body arched in a way that screamed intimacy, her lips parted, eyes have flitted. The figure beside her, a shadowy outline of a man, his hand resting possessively on her bare thigh. It wasn't me. My stomach churned, bile rising in my throat. 38 years old, a structural engineer who'd spent the last decade building bridges literal and figurative keep our marriage intact. And here I was, staring at the wreckage of it all. The brush she'd used was still clutched in her hand when I'd barged in 10 minutes ago. She jumped, her auburn hair cascading over her shoulders, those green eyes wide with panic. "Mark, what the hell are you doing here?" she'd snapped, her voice sharp enough to cut glass. I didn't answer, couldn't. My gaze had already found the painting, and the silence between us had roared louder than any words. Now she was pacing, her slim frame wrapped in a paint-splattered smock that barely hid the curves I'd once traced with reverence. "It's just art, Mark," she said, her tone teetering between defiance and desperation. "You're overreacting. Art? Bullshit. That wasn't art. That was a confession, smeared in crimson and ochre. We live in Portland, Oregon, a city of gray skies and craft beer, where Claire, 35, runs a small gallery downtown. She's an artist, oil paintings mostly, moody landscapes and portraits that sell for more than my monthly salary at the firm. I met her 12 years ago at a bar in the Pearl District, her laugh cutting through the noise like a siren. She was stunning, then long legs, a dancer's grace, skin like porcelain, and she still is, though now I wonder who else has noticed. I'd come home early that Thursday, a rare break from a project out in Beaverton. The house was quiet, too quiet, and her studio door was cracked open. Claire usually locked it when she worked, claiming she needed space to create. I'd respected that until today. Something gnawed at me, a hunch I couldn't shake after weeks of her late nights and vague excuses. So I pushed the door open, and there it was, the truth immortalized in paint. "Who is he?" I demanded, my voice low, trembling with a rage I barely recognized. She stopped pacing, her back to me, shoulders stiffening. "It's not what you think," she said, turning slowly. Her face was a mask, beautiful, cold, unreadable. "It's just a model, a concept. Don't lie to me, Claire." I stepped closer, the hardwood creaking under my boots. "That's you. That's your body, your face. And that hand, it's not mine." Her lips parted, but before she could speak, the front door slammed open downstairs. Heavy footsteps echoed up the staircase, and a voice called out, "Claire? You here?" Male, deep, familiar. I turned to her, my pulse hammering. "Who the fuck is that?" She didn't answer, but her eyes darted to the door, and I knew. I stormed out of the studio, nearly colliding with him on the landing. Jake Russafortituo, broad-shouldered, with a scruffy beard and a cocky grin that faded the second he saw me. He's a photographer, one of Claire's collaborators, always hanging around her gallery openings with his Nikon and his bullshit charm. I'd never liked him. "Mark," he said, hands up like he was calming a wild animal. "Didn't expect you home." "Yeah, I bet you didn't." I shoved past him, my shoulder clipping his, and headed downstairs. Claire's voice chased after me, "Mark, wait." But I didn't stop until I hit the living room. That's when I saw them. 2 more intruders in my house. Sarah, Claire's best friend since college, perched on the couch, her blonde hair pulled into a messy bun, her petite frame drowning in an oversized sweater. She's 36, a yoga instructor with a perpetually zen vibe until now. Her blue eyes widened as I stormed in. Next to her stood Ethan, my coworker, a lanky 29-year-old draftsman with glasses and a nervous tic. What the hell were they doing here? "Mark, oh my God," Sarah said, standing up, her voice shaky. "We didn't mean to." "Shut up," I snapped, my gaze flicking between them. Someone better start talking. Now. Jake lumbered down the stairs, Claire trailing behind him, her face flushed. It's not what it looks like, he said, echoing her earlier lie. We're working on a project. A project? I laughed. A harsh, bitter sound. What, a fucking orgy in my wife's studio? Mark, stop it, Claire shouted, stepping between us. Her chest heaved, her smock slipping off one shoulder, revealing the smooth curve of her collarbone. Even now, pissed as I was, I couldn't unsee her beauty. You're being ridiculous. Am I? I pointed upstairs. That painting isn't a goddamn landscape, Claire. It's you half naked, with some guy's hands all over you. And now I've got half the city in my house like it's a fucking party. Ethan cleared his throat, pushing his glasses up his nose. Mark, I was just dropping off those blueprints you asked for. I ran into Sarah outside, and, save it, I cut him off. You're a shitty liar, Ethan. Sarah stepped forward, her hands clasped. Mark, listen. Claire's been stressed. The gallery's been struggling, and Jake's been helping her with a new series. That's all. I glared at Jake, his smug face begging for a fist. Helping her how, exactly? Posing for her little porno painting. It's not like that, Jake said, his voice tight. It's art, man. You wouldn't get it. Try me? I growled, stepping into his space. He didn't back down, and for a second I thought we'd come to blows. Claire grabbed my arm, her nails digging into my skin. Enough, she yelled. Both of you stop. The room went silent, the tension so thick I could choke on it. I yanked my arm free, staring at her. Tell me the truth, Claire. Right now. Is this just art? Or are you screwing him? Her eyes met mine, and for the first time, I saw something crack in her composure. Guilt? Fear? Couldn't tell. She opened her mouth, then closed it, looking away. That was all the answer I needed. The next few days were a blur. I moved out, crashing at a shitty motel off I-5, the kind with flickering neon signs and stains on the carpet. Claire called non-stop, leaving voicemails I didn't listen to. I couldn't face her not yet. My mind kept replaying that painting, the way her body curved under that stranger's touch. Was it Jake? Someone else? How long had it been going on? I met Sarah for coffee at Stumptown on Saturday, desperate for answers. She slid into the booth across from me, her delicate features pinched with worry. She's a mess, Mark, she said, stirring her latte. She didn't mean for this to happen. Didn't mean for what to happen? I pressed, my voice hoarse. To cheat? To humiliate me? Sarah sighed, tucking a strand of hair behind her ear. It's complicated. Jake's been pushy. He's got this hold over her with the gallery and all. I think she got in over her head. So she's fucking him to save her business? I spat louder than I meant to. Heads turned in the cafe, but I didn't care. No! Sarah leaned in, lowering her voice. It's not like that. At least, I don't think so. She's been painting these provocative pieces to draw attention. Shock value. Jake's idea. But I swear, Mark, I don't know if it went further. You don't know? Or you won't tell me? I asked, my hands clenched around my mug. She hesitated, and that pause told me everything. Monday, I went back to the house. Claire was at the gallery, and I needed my stuff. The studio door was unlocked, and I couldn't resist. The painting was still there, but finished now. The man's face was clear, Jake, no question. His dark eyes stared out, mocking me. His hands still on her thigh, her body even more exposed, her breasts barely covered by a sheer drape. My chest tightened, rage and grief warring inside me. Then I heard the garage door rumble open. I bolted downstairs, catching Ethan pulling in with his beat-up Toyota. He froze when he saw me, blueprints in hand. More excuses? I asked, crossing my arms. Mark, I swear. I'm just here to. He stopped, glancing at the studio stairs. Shit, you saw it, didn't you? Yeah, I said. And you knew. He swallowed hard. I didn't know, no. I suspected. Jake's been bragging at the bar about inspiring her. I thought he was full of it. Why didn't you tell me? I stepped closer, towering over him. Because I didn't want this, he blurted, gesturing at me. You're my friend, Mark. I didn't want to be the one to blow up your life. Too late, I said, brushing past him. That night, I confronted Claire at the house. She was in the kitchen, pouring wine, her hair loose, her figure hugged by a black dress that made my breath catch despite everything. Jake was there too, leaning against the counter like he owned the place. Get out, I told him. Mark, let's talk, Claire started. But Jake cut her off. Maybe you should leave, buddy, he said, smirking. She doesn't need you hovering. I lunged, slamming him against the fridge. Glasses crashed to the floor, and Claire screamed, Mark, stop! I held him there, his throat under my forearm, his smug face turning red. Tell me, I hissed. Did you sleep with her? He choked out a laugh. Ask her. I let go, turning to Claire. Her hands were shaking, wine spilling over the rim of her glass. Did you? I asked, my voice breaking. She didn't answer, just stared at me, tears welling up. And then, in a whisper, it was a mistake. A mistake. 2 words that gutted me. I didn't need the details, I couldn't stomach them. I grabbed my keys and walked out, the sound of her sobbing fading behind me. Weeks later, I'm still at the motel, divorce papers half-drafted on my laptop. Sarah says Claire's selling the gallery, moving east, maybe New York. Jake's gone quiet, and Ethan's avoiding me at work. I keep asking myself, was it just once? Was it love? Could I have stopped it? Trust's a fragile thing. Once it's cracked, you can't rebuild it the same. I don't know if I'll sign those papers or burn them. I don't know if I'll ever walk into a room without seeing that painting in my mind. All I know is I'm starting over one way or another, and the pieces of who I was are still scattered on that studio floor.